right. Welcome to Wednesday, one of the best days of the week. And welcome to Masculine Geek, one of the best shows on the internet. This is Masculine Geek number 223. Hard to believe. 223. We actually have more than that, but this is officially number 223, the Wednesday shows. This is the Fireside Chats, some random geekery. When we don't have a guest on and we do not play D&D, we do Fireside Chat, in case you are not aware. But most of you are, so. TJ, Robert, how are you?
I'll let TJ go first since you mentioned his name first. Go on ahead, TJ.
I'm doing good. Just been doing some house projects and outside, and now that the weather's been nice, haven't done a lot of motorcycle riding because my motorcycle's been doing that whole. I think there's something wrong with the front brake, so I'm taking it into a shop. So I'll do 3 miles into town, even though it does that thing, but it's not,
Is it shuddering or what?
I think that the front brake is being activated for some reason, but the crazy part is it only does it twice, no more. It does it twice.
Have you tried adjusting it at all? So you think it's sticking?
I know that there was damage to the cord. There's like the exterior cord that covers the brake. I don't know
the sheathing. Yeah,
the sheathing is damaged, so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. So I'm taking it to a mechanic because.
Just have a look at it.
Yeah. With cars, like, there's problems with my cars. I can deal with that. It's not a big deal. But anything with my bike, it's like you got to get that fixed because I'm not having problems when I'm going 60, 70 miles per hour.
No, that's really not the best thing to have happen while you're. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then I've been training the dog. She's been.
Okay, cool.
She already has like 10 babysitters lined up. Or dog sitters, not babysitters, dog sitters. I'm actually pretty big on people not referring to her as anything other than a dog. Like, oh, it's your. It's like, no, it's not. She's my dog. But I've got a bunch of people who are like, if you're ever out of town, they want a dog sit. So,
well, you will be in September,
right? So I've already got a few neighbors lined up. So
cool.
She's very popular wherever I take her. So. That's been a good, unexpected but positive turn of events, and she's been really great with like understanding, just basic stuff. So, but she's a half border collie, so she's really intelligent. Like she can pick up on stuff very quickly. So when we drive places and I get out of the car, she used to try and jump out of my side of the car, but I've trained her to within a couple days to like understand no. You need to wait until I go around to open your door.
Open the door for you.
And you don't just leap out. You got to leap. You can come out when I say you can come out. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is part golden retriever and part poodle. So he's also very intelligent, but he's also very
a repoodle.
They're actually called golden doodles.
Golden doodle, okay.
Yeah.
That's a golden doodle, see? Yeah.
Golden doodle buffet.
Yeah. So he's very smart. He responds to both verbal and nonverbal commands depending on what it is. If I snap my fingers, if I wave my hands certain directions and stuff like that. So he's picked up on all that. But he has a bit of an attitude problem in the sense that he's a sweetheart, but he doesn't like to listen to anyone but me. And occasionally if he's in a mood because he feels like he hasn't gotten enough attention, he'll try and push that with me. But he is super, super affectionate and a really sweet dog. So I tend to my kids and certain women in my life pretty much have said that, the dog is, the favorite life form in my life. So it's like if it's a choice between saving the dog or one of them, it's like we're on our own because dad's only worrying about the dog. And it's like, well, if I come home and you jump in my lap and start licking my face, it's like, hey, chick, it's maybe I'll save you too. So, I go where the loyalty is. I reward that loyalty. So
it's funny. It's I take her name. I'm sticking with Willow for now, but some people want to have me give her a different name. I haven't decided.
No. What?
No, it's your
Fuck
dog.
that. So fuck that. Some people
No,
shit.
no. Willow is the name I got. That was her name when I got her. So I can choose right now if I want to change her name.
Mhm.
One gal said I should call her Vixen because
Mhm.
she looks like a vixen, like an actual, fox type thing.
Mhm.
I haven't decided, but she's very well behaved at the weight room that I go to, where I just leave her in the lobby, and she just sits there and like she's totally cool and chill. Where she was really anxious apparently when I first got her like a week and a half ago. She was not good around people, but now she's got so much. But I've really gone out of my way to make sure she's been socialized. Like I introduced her to other dogs, I introduced her to other people, and make sure that she's not being cooped up and gotten more comfortable. But mainly, she needs to know that I'm there. It's when I'm not there, she can't see me, that she kind of freaks out. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's she's really well behaved. I'm actually really impressed with like no training. She's 4 months old, and she's acting as well as Reese was when I met him. He was 10 years old.
You made a comment about her being the reincarnation of Reese.
I'm not joking. Like those two have the only thing that she doesn't do is she doesn't smile the way Reese does. She doesn't do that yet.
Typical.
But she's also not a golden retriever. Whereas she gets excited, but she doesn't like smile the way he did. But that may change. We'll work on that.
There you go. What do you feed her?
The food I got, like the old owners basically gave me like Marshall Plan care package, like all this stuff. So I haven't had to spend any money on her other than just like the initial, just basically peanuts to get her.
That's good.
I looked at dog food. Dog food's not that expensive. I understand she's going to get bigger and it's going to cost more money, later on. But like, as far as money is concerned, it's not. My swing dance lessons are far more expensive.
Okay. Mictibus, just call your dog Stains. Come, Stains.
Oh my god. It's funny. Somebody I met who named their dog Glock.
Reese Alpha with a TJ.
Except Reese was a male dog.
They don't give him any ammo.
Yeah.
No, it's funny how they have very similar personalities. It's almost like the female version of Reese. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. So
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is good. It's like, there's
nothing wrong with that. Exactly.
Well, it would have been harder for me to interact with the dog if the personalities had been so different, because I'm used to the way she behaves with Reese. But the problem is he was so old, like you're not training him. He is what he is. He's 10 years old. He's got white hair all over his whiskers, whereas she's still trainable. So I've already gotten her to learn a bunch of stuff just by, working on her and giving her treats when she does something right. And I mean, potty training her has been so easy. I just take her out in the morning, take her out at night, take her out in the middle of the day. I've had zero accidents in the house. So as far as dogs are concerned, it's pretty nice. So
Blake is saying Nutro food is best for the money.
People talk about raw food, like raw meat, to give her. I'm looking at that. I don't know. I'm gonna do some research. The other thing that's interesting about border collie and half whatever she is, they tend to be very dominant, and the master, the owner has to be very firm with that dog. So been with her, and the thing is, you don't have to be firm in like an overly harsh way. You can just be where she's having a fight with you on something, she doesn't want to walk anymore, and you just sit there. And how many jars of peanuts have you gone through? No, I know he's referencing dogs love peanut butter.
Well, no, that's not what he's referencing.
He's referencing he's referencing Aaron putting peanut butter on his dick to get the dog to lick it.
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's referencing. Yes.
Yeah.
So That's that. But go ahead with your peanut butter story, please.
Good night, folks.
Yours
No,
is
I
more
got-
innocent, I'm sure.
Yeah, Marie, the Reese's old owner, gave me a toy that she had that had a it was full of. You could
It's
fill
called it's called a Kong.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
fill
it's got.
peanut butter
I'm not
under
gonna.
that.
Never mind. It's just gonna like go bad. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
But
dog
anyway,
owners know what it is.
Yeah,
Don't
it's a
give
Kong.
Bullrush
It's
anything to play
yeah,
with.
it's good bull. She's gonna use that as ammo. You fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So it's been good, but the thing is, you don't have to be like a jerk to the dogs. You just have to be firm and say, "Hey, we're gonna sit here and wait until you're ready to move." But I've also found I can manipulate, not manipulate. I can tug at her heartstrings. I know how to make certain dog noises. I was watching a couple dog moves with her to see how she would respond, and she immediately picks up on when the dogs are.
So basically, what I'm hearing is you're holding frame with your dog. You're using subtle game on your dog.
You're basically
and teaching your dog,
it's the same shit. It's the
subtle
same shit as a
dread.
woman.
So so
you're just.
Yeah, sure.
We know you love Kong. We know you love Kong toys, Bullrush. You're not full of peanut butter, let me tell you.
It's funny. She it's sometimes hard because I live on a state route, and also just she doesn't like cars, so it's really hard to get her into a car to take her somewhere to go get her exercise. But she loves water, like sprinklers. So I have a little high pressure hose that I can attach to my the water hose. And I use it as kind of like a train thing. So I'll just spend 20-30 minutes of her just sprinting around chasing after it, and just wears her out. Because these dogs, you have to. I've seen so many owners of these when I was growing up where they never exercise their dog and then let them inside all day. Whereas I realize, because I can relate to dogs in the sense that I'm high energy too. You have to burn off that energy or you go crazy. So having a dog running around, I want her to be tired. With Reese, I would take him on hikes, and when he came back, Maria would just say he just kind of collapse in the living room and just fall asleep. And
TJ, do you have your earphones in?
No, I don't.
Yeah, every once in a while I get feedback coming from your.
Let me check. Let me make sure we got the right audio.
Make sure you're on the right microphone.
Well, it's
test.
Testing.
Test. Hang on a second. Don't talk. Test. All right. Sounds pretty good. Because
this is a test of the emergency broadcasting system.
It's a little bit. Occasionally, when I would talk, I would hear myself coming over your speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Echo is supposed to be canceled out, but anyways. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. My dog loves water too, but I mean, like I said, he's part golden retriever and part poodle, and poodles it's basically German for puddle dog, poodle. So
okay.
Yeah, so he's both are water breeds. Both are working breeds, gun dog with the poodle. And so yeah, he would rather drop dead than stop playing fetch. I mean, he will do that, and you get sprinklers going or anything like that, and he goes absolutely mental chasing water, and will do that all afternoon. And but he loves going for a drive. So anytime I put a leash on him, he assumes we're going somewhere. So he's heading toward the garage door, and so he's a great road trip dog, and I absolutely adore him. So I was talking to another person, and it's I keep thinking, 15 years with him is not going to be enough. And he's he's only 2. So, I mean, he's still got a lot of puppy in him, but he was supposed to be my youngest son's dog. My boy's mother came to me one day and said, would it be all right to get him a dog, because she thought, it'd be good for him and, teach him responsibility and stuff like that. And so she, of course, wanted my input and what I thought. And I'm like, oh yeah, by all means, let's dog.
What's going on?
So, but that dog just absolutely imprinted on me. And constant companion. So
That's your buddy.
he is. He's like my
Yeah.
best buddy. So
Exactly.
he, you know, if it's like, you know, come nighttime, it's like, you know, he's right there at my side. If he's not, you know, in bed beside me, he's on the he's sleeping at my side. So on the
That's
floor.
cool.
So on his bed, but you know, I've laughed until it's like, you know, woman, it's like it's the dog spot. So, you know, if you're gonna spend the night, you're just gonna have to deal with the fact that the dog's there. That, you know, so
Stick her in the dog cage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say to do with your women? Put a
Collar.
exactly. There you
Yep.
go.
Collar all
So-
of them.
But what's funny is I take him over to visit family in Ohio, and there are people next door that have about 5 or 6 dogs, all of which are female, right? And it is so funny watching them like fight each other at times to get to him and get his attention. And one of them is this female husky, and she will like sing for him, trying to get his attention. And so he absolutely digs the hell out of that. So he's just like prancing around, and so there are some dudes that could learn something about, you know, intersexual dynamics by having a male dog and watching how that dog relates with female dogs. That's I'll just there's your red pill moment. Get yourself a dog.
Yeah.
But nah, he's great. So my son adores him, and my son's the one that named him, and he's pretty good with my son, but he thinks my son is another pup, and so he interacts with him in that. So as far as their relationship with each other, they will, you know, the dog will occasionally try to, you know, assert, well, I'm the bigger dog than you, so I'm higher in the pack order than you. And I keep telling my son, it's like, you can't let him do that kind of stuff, because you have to show him, no, you're the boss. And so, but I mean, that's been good stuff. So it's, you know, I like having a kid. I like having a dog. So we'll see. And
Yeah,
according to Robert De Niro, you can be doing, and Mick Jagger both, you can be doing this, having the kid thing all the way into your 70s.
I love how all
So.
these women in their 30s are like, men peak at their age too. They can't, you know, and then they're like, yeah, Picasso, Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not saying, look, I'm not having kids when I'm 79. I'm not recommending that, obviously, but like this whole attitude of
We as men make sperm up to 10 minutes after we're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No.
it's just like we can play this game. We can wait this out longer than they can, and they pretend like it's the same. I remember. Yeah, anyways, I'm not going to go into that. But as far as the dog thing is, you know, the nice thing is I'm getting this dog. She's 4 months old. So I've got 15 years. You know, according to what I've read, 15 years. So I'll be in my 50s when she's gone. Whereas Reese, I had. What was it, 2018? So like I had 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, 4 years. He died last year. So I had 4 years. Like, you know, he was, I think he was probably older than 10. He was probably 12 when he died. But like, you know, it's just it's and also he was a full grown dog, and he was set in his ways, and just he was where he was at. Whereas, you know, this was an opportunity to actually train the dog to be what I want her to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, she's
as opposed to being 2 old men living together, which is basically what you two were, you and Reese, right?
Old bastards.
Yeah. A couple of grumpy old men living together.
Well, the problem is Reese here, or not problem, but like what was funny is Reese acted like a pup till the last day I met him. The last day I saw him was March 2022, and he was still like just bouncing off walls.
So you guys were the odd couple. He was an old dog who acted like a pup, and you're a pup that has always acted like an old dog as long as I've known you.
Well,
So-
we're both high energy, but like he just was always ready to go. As far as like on a hike or go for a run or jog or whatever it was we were doing. And so that was kind of the funny thing is like he never slowed down up until the day he died, and he died very suddenly, which was, you know, that was good in the sense that he didn't die slow, painful death. That was, you know, gonna hurt everybody involved who cared about Reese. He just one day he had like heart failure or something like that. It was just over. So he didn't suffer a lot of pain. Wow. 20 years. Wow. That's crazy.
I heard that you like sperm, Chad.
Oh my God, Vince.
Oh, what was it? Someone posted something on Twitter about the fact that they had a DNA test done and they found out that their dad wasn't their father, but the shocking part was the fact that their dad was someone who was dead before they were conceived, and their mom worked at like a mortuary or something like that.
Oh
So,
my God, she fucked a dead guy?
yeah.
Well, I told you.
Or milked him. I mean,
well, I was serious about the 10 and 15 minutes.
I know you were.
Around after we die, our bodies still.
Conversation's going in a weird direction.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go, ladies. Head over to the morgue.
Yeah, just bring your bottle of wine and your cat, and just
that's right.
To milk the corpse.
Like picnic at the morgue.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing a lot of these gals
Party at Ground Zero
acting like, well, you men are running out of time too. It's like, no, we're not. We're not. We're not running out of time to be fathers or have children, because we're not you. So stop talking to us like we're women.
Yeah.
Like they're doing the same. I've written an article about this, but like they're acting like they're coming from a position of power. Like, oh, well, you men better hurry up or you're going to run out of time to be a father. It's like, yeah, Robert De Niro would like to have a word with you about that.
Yes. Can you sire and heir a boy or a girl at the age of 79? Yes, you can.
Should
you're
you?
You're gonna be. Yeah. Should you? I don't know. That it's whatever you want to fucking do. I don't fucking give a shit.
Tyler would say sure.
Yeah, but I mean, the quality of life you're gonna have. I mean, you're not running around throwing the football with a kid when he's 5 and 6.
Well, I don't. Well,
not Robert De Niro. No.
But look at Drew. Drew's 50. If he
those are the exceptions, absolutely. But in general, no.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah. So I mean, it all depends on what you do. I mean, obviously, I am probably. It's definitely a trade-off. I am probably a better dad in my 50s than I was in my 20s.
Well, 50s is 40s and 50s.
Because I know 30 years more stuff, right?
Right.
And I learned lessons with, my older kids. Am I as active as I was at 21? I don't think so. Just because I don't think that I can be. Do I spend more quality time with my son at 50?
Yeah, the activities are going to be different.
Yeah, I do. He and I have a lot more father-son time than I ever did with my older two boys. I mean, my older two boys also suffer from the fact that I was operating from, last century's rule book, in the sense that, I was the dad. I went to work. I worked 12, 14 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, at least. Sometimes had part-time jobs of an evening or on weekends working in radio. I was providing for my family. I was doing all the stuff that a dad's supposed to do, which meant I wasn't spending a lot of time with my sons, but they didn't want for anything. But I also was like the almighty hand of God when I came home and heard from their mom, they needed to be, disciplined for being whatever it is that they did. And of course, fool that I was, I believed her because I assumed as an adult, she knew what the hell she was talking about. So, you know, but so it was just a very, very, very different
Well,
relationship with my older two boys.
What?
And so I wish I knew, but I didn't, and I can't do anything about that now. So all I can do is enjoy the relationship I have with them now as adults, which is still kind of odd. I'm still not used to that, having adult children dynamic. And one of my sons, his boy, is getting old enough now that he doesn't want to spend every waking moment he can with his dad, because he has friends he wants to hang out with. So one of my sons is starting to deal with that, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's not fun, is it? It's not fun when it's like your weekend with the kid, and the kid wants to go hang out with his friends for part of it, and you know, so you lose some of that 48 hours or whatever. And so that's cool. That means my one of my boys is getting a little bit more insight into what his dad had to go through and how his dad felt about stuff. So, oh well, it's a learning process for all of us.
Indeed. It's a fucking cat.
But so, do you think you want kids someday, TJ? I mean, I know Vince talked about his feelings on the subject, but I mean, are you like open to it? If it happens, great. If it doesn't, fine. Or is it something you'd like to have happen sometime in like the next 10 years? Uh-oh, we got the pussy cam going.
You know, I'm kind of wondering how much I want to talk about this on
Don't stop biting me.
On the public.
So you can leave it just maybe. You don't have to go into any details. I was just curious. So if you're not comfortable talking about it, that's cool.
I guess I'll put it this way. I'm living a life in many ways that is envied by other people, but it's not what I want. But then again, I think it's so hard to describe, because there are people who are living the life that I wanted, but they aren't happy with it because they don't know what life is like outside of that. I'll give an example. Imagine you're a guy who got married at like 21, 22. You've never known what it's like to be a bachelor past the age of 23. You don't know what it's like to be childless beyond the age of 24, right? And you're in your late 30s. You just are not going to understand a lot of stuff about what it's like being at this age now without any of that stuff. Whereas I know, right? And so I get that there's a whole grass is greener on the other side thing, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, having, bringing the dog into my life, and that's a small responsibility comparatively, but like, she's been a great addition to my life, where she gives kind of like a purpose and meaning for me to get up in the morning, because I got to go feed her and take care of her. I got somebody I got to take care of, right? I got an animal I got to take care of. It's not like chickens or all this other stuff. And so when people say, like, what kind of life do you want to live? It's like, yeah, but guys, you've never known what it's like to be in your 30s with no children and you're not married. Like it's in some ways, yes, you have a lot of time on your hands and you're very free, but at the same time, you have to kind of find a reason to be around, because you don't. As much as the man up crowd, I hate them in a lot of ways. They are right in the sense that men need responsibilities to give them meaning, because that's part of just what we are. But it's not just responsibility; it's authority. We're not just responsible; we're in charge. Like my dog, I'm not just.
So would you use the word purpose instead? Men need purpose.
Yeah, men need purpose. So, like, I have a purpose for taking care of the dog. And so, that's kind of my thought on that. Is like, people say, people will talk about the freedom of being a bachelor at a certain age. It's like, yeah, but at some point you want something more, especially if you have potential or the capacity to take on more responsibilities. That's part of being an adult. And just the way the world is now, it's impossible to have that conversation. But that's kind of my thought. It's like, I see a lot of people who took on responsibilities early on, and they're thinking, well, what would my life be like without those responsibilities? And they're thinking about it in kind of like I'd be free. I'm like, and you'd probably be on drugs or you'd be an alcoholic because you'd have no, like, what else are you going to do? Like having a family or having whatever's, life or whatever, like that drives you to do the stuff that you do in life. Because you're not going to do that without a wife and family. That's why so many men are not really participating in the workforce. It's like, well, I'm not married and I have no kids, so like I don't have a motivation to go do stuff. That's kind of my theory. But like,
well, I think there's more to it than that, in the sense of the way things are at the moment. I mean, but
I don't have an easy answer.
I know some guys that don't have kids are never going to have kids. I mean, even married guys. I have a friend of mine who is an artist, who is a very, very talented and very well-known artist who is married. He and his wife both have had really interesting jobs. For whatever reason, and it's not something he and I have discussed in great detail because, it's just one of those things, but I know he does not plan on ever having kids. As far as what his reasons for that is, I don't know. But I know other people that have made that decision as well, which I'm fine with. Some of whom I'm like, that is probably a brilliant idea that you are not going to reproduce. But then there are other guys I know that I'm like, I respect that that's what you want to do, and I would not shovel that expectation on you if you don't want it. But he's some of them are guys that would have made excellent fathers.
That's the thing is that's what kind of I'll say this is one thing that I really have to struggle to not get angry about, but like I would like to be a father one day. I'd like to be married. I like to have kids. And I see men who have children and more than one, and they act like these are things that they were born with, that they did not want. And it's because for whatever reason they were conflict avoidant and just their wives wanted children and they just were like, well, okay, I just want to do this to avoid having an argument. But they act like their kids are kind of a burden to them, and like their kids are not. Some of these guys, like I've met their kids. Like their kids are like, I would love to have children like theirs, and that creates another huge problem. Is like the dad looks at the kids as like, you're a burden in my life that I didn't want, and so they can sense that. Whereas I look at those kids and say, man, I would love to have kids like that. Like I get that they got problems, they're children, but like, stop looking at them like a parasite and look at them as something that you're going to help raise. And, like kids they are much smarter than a lot of adults will give them credit for. They can pick up on a parent who sees them as like a burden, as opposed to like, a parent who sees them, I get you made a mess and it's not a big deal, or we're not going to make a big deal about it, as opposed to like, you're such a menace. You're ruining my life, right? That kind of stuff, right? And so I just look at that and like, people have been given stuff that they don't appreciate in life, right? And that's kind of like where I look at it, like, how did you get to the point where you had a bunch of kids and you just weren't thinking about it? Like, I never wanted these kids. It's like, how did you, like, do you have to, it's almost like they have to be asleep at the wheel in some ways.
Are you talking about people that you know now, or like many decades ago?
I'm just looking at like societal level. I'm looking at like how many people are not parenting. When I say not parenting, I'm not meaning disciplining. I mean like they're just not. They basically just chuck their kids off at daycare or at the preschool or kindergarten or the schools, and like it's their job to raise them. And yeah. That's also I'd say a burden and not a negative sense. Like, I mean, I grew up knowing that I was costing my parents money, all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't in a negative sense, like where I felt like, I was unwanted, I guess is the right word for it. So
yeah. There's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like now where like I feel like a lot of kids feel genuinely unwanted by their parents.
I had a family growing up around the corner from me that I was friends with, and I remember the younger girl once said that her parents told her she was a mistake, like she wasn't planned, but she was, like you're saying, TJ, she was still loved. It wasn't like, oh, you were a mistake, and then they neglected her and beat her or something. It's just like, oh, well, you weren't planned, but we're glad you're here. You know, that kind of thing.
What's funny is like I know a woman who was like that. She was a mistake because the guy had gotten a vasectomy and they didn't wait long enough before they, you know.
Well, he probably didn't pull out or whatever.
Well, right. The funny thing is, like, you know, she was very much a, how do I put it? She was the youngest, but yet she was treated like the eldest because she was the most responsible. So like she was like, there was never the sense of like she was unwanted. It was always the sense of like she was almost like God's gift to the dad. That's kind of the way I'd put it. Okay. So like that's an example of like where she never felt like, oh, I was a mistake, I was unwanted. I'm talking about parents who like they act like their kids are something that they were born with and they didn't actively have. And
if you want to see evidence of this, just walk through any Walmart and you'll see this in live action, how that dynamic plays out. Or Target.
I mean, you know, what's interesting is like people who say, you know, they don't, you know, back in the day, people said that they didn't shop at certain stores or places. I'm kind of understanding now that mindset of like, I don't want to be around certain peoples.
Yeah.
And not because I hate them, but like, when I see someone who's like in their 30s and they're on one of those carts drive-through things because they're so fat, I'm like,
oh, the scooter.
Yeah, it's depressing. I don't want to see that. It's like aesthetically, you know, there's some people, and I'm one of them. We are affected by the ugliness that we see around us. Like I remember when I was.
We realize it's not necessary.
Well, we understand the difference between we're affected by ugliness around us. It's like going into a city that's ugly as opposed to going into a city that's beautiful. It's beautifully designed. There's the architecture is beautiful. There's ornate carvings over everything. Everything's kind of like, it's like Rivendell, right? You watch it and you're like, yeah, that's a beautiful area to live in. Whereas Mordor is ugly. And people are like, well, it's economical and they financially, you know, the housing is cheaper there. It's like, yeah, it's ugly. It's Mordor. It's ugly. It's just ugly as hell. I wouldn't want to live
there. Not really.
I don't care if it's affordable housing. It's ugly.
The rent's probably cheap though.
Of course, it's cheap. It's like I went to an area that looks like the Swiss Alps in my state, and there were housing there that was ugly. I want to arrest the people who designed the house for like crimes against nature. It was so ugly, and people were telling me like, why are you so upset?
Timmy. I could see you doing that. You.
I find that absolutely believable. True or not, I find it very
Boris kind of looks like a Timmy.
Yeah. Well, you see who he hangs out with on Thursday nights? I mean, come on.
Those two, it's like Timmy times 3.
Retards.
That's like Timmy and Jimmy and
Spur retards. Well, Lake Town wasn't too bad. I mean, well, to be fair, Lake Town in The Hobbit is okay. You guys, if you've seen the movies, good on you. If you haven't read the books, you're all dillweeds. Now, I will say this. Yes, if you haven't read the books, but then you try to go and look at Lord of the Rings Wikipedias and YouTube channels, and then try to wax poetic about it, no, you're a faker. Go read the fucking books, slackers. Fuck. What about your mom? I get my mom to do that. Oh, okay, there you go. That's pretty evil, Chris. But I like it. How many of you fucks have actually read the books, J.R.R. Tolkien's main books? And I'm talking about Silmarillion and all that. Mike, I expected you. I would be very disappointed if you had not. watched both the movies and read the books. I know TJ hasn't read the book, so he can just shut up.
And TJ hasn't even read the player's handbook you bought for him what, 2 years ago now.
Fucking dork.
I'm sorry. Like, it's
no excuse. Nothing. Do I have to mute you? Don't make me mute you. Chris, I gathered you read them. Read The Hobbit freshman year of high school. It was.
I read The Hobbit.
Well, you have to understand something. The Hobbit was written as a standalone, as a bedtime story for his son Christopher, and that was it. There was to be no more anything else after that, as far as that genre, if you will. And then his friends all got on like, hey, wait a minute, you're a linguist. You've got all these great languages. It came up with the Elven language, all this other shit. And you wrote this story. We want to know more. Tell us more. And then it took him another 10 years to pump out the Lord of the Rings. Shut up, Mictobus. Don't make me ban you.
Yeah, I read Hobbit. And,
hey, Red, it's been a while. You son of a bitch. Where have you been? You've been doing you've been paying minis too and doing World of Warcraft. You're doing Warhammer stuff too, I think.
Yeah.
Look at your Instagram.
Yeah, I read The Hobbit in elementary school, probably 4th or 5th grade, and I read started The Lord of Rings in 6th grade. Which I remember because I had a 6th grade teacher who was surprised at me reading it, and she's like, "Your parents know that you're reading this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my dad wants to borrow it when I'm done." So
absolutely. Yeah, I'm never a fan of Rohan. Rohan seemed to be a bit weak, especially initially. I read my parents were very big readers. They used to read to me as a kid. My mom would take me to the Maple Shade Library, and she said, "Here, you really need to read these." And it was The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and I think I was 9 or 10. Illustrated versions, fucking fantastic. But I understand what you're saying, Mictobus. If you're not big on description and exposition, Tolkien was concerned with the fact that England did not have its own mythology. And a lot of people would say, well, wait a minute, Vince, what about the King Arthur and the Holy Grail? King Arthur and the Holy Grail is predominantly French, not English. So he was worried about, he was concerned. Yeah, shut up, you. He was concerned the fact that England didn't have its own like deep-rooted mythology. So like, well, fuck it, I'm going to create it. So there you go.
I actually really liked Rohan, but the idea of Viking horsemen just aesthetically appeals to me in ways that
they left a lot of, if you read the books, they left out the pickle men and they left out a lot of stuff in the Lord of the Rings. Now I will say this with the movies, the Two Towers. So when they're at Rohan and they're on the top of that cliff where Elrond, which he doesn't do, but he rides the little pony up, and well, first of all, if you're in a command tent, all right, and you're running on a time frame, you're under a time constraint, why would you slog everything up to the top of the cliff to come all the way the fuck back down? That in the movie made no fucking sense. No sense at all. I mean, I get it. Aesthetically, it was kind of cool because that was the top of the mountain and they had the paths of the dead and all that shit. And that was true to the book. But, well, Bullrush, I'll tell you right now, go read Umberto Eco's In the Name of the Rose and read him describing a door that takes 11 pages. So you'll appreciate Tolkien.
I was gonna say, like, one of the things that's, I guess, interesting about Tolkien is that the other thing is he's not a fantasy writer. That's the problem with so many people who look at him as like he's not.
Well, they're looking at it through the lens of now.
Yeah, he was not a fantasy writer. So like fantasy writers look at him and like, oh, I got to write stuff like it. It's like, no, guys, like he was kind of an anomaly. You're not.
It was completely new.
Yeah.
So, up to that point, all that was there was some sword and sorcery.
Right.
Can you imagine him getting all those damn phone calls from hippies in the late 60s and early 70s?
Oh, he got mushrooms sent to him.
Yeah. Yeah, Beowulf's good. The movie is better, yeah. I will say this for Tolkien's writing in the movies, what Peter Jackson did with especially the Fellowship of the Ring. So the urgency behind, oh my God, this is the One Ring, Sauron's creation. You gotta fucking destroy it. That tension, I mentioned this before, that tension and that intensity to like, holy fuck, was there in the movie. When you read the book, it's just like, all right, this is the One Ring. What are you gonna do? It was like it was very laid back as far as Gandalf's like Gandalf in the movie was like, is it secret? Is it safe? Oh my God, holy shit. In the book, just like, this is the One Ring.
That's what's so funny.
What?
Is,
It doesn't make any sense.
Parts of the book, I'm like, these guys are talking like, we found the One Ring. Let's have a cup of tea and talk about it. Whereas Americans would be like, yeah, we got to destroy this mother.
Well, I think, between Gandalf telling Frodo about the ring and then Gandalf going away for a little bit, there was a, like him having a supposition that something was not quite right with that ring. There was a 14-year fucking gap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And between him actually finding out, so it was like, dude, what the fuck? So that wasn't really. I like that wasn't conveyed in the movie, but that urgency was, which I liked.
I felt like the Fellowship of the Ring was the best film of the whole trilogy.
I agree.
And I felt like, man, I remember watching that in theaters, and like, it was the Star Wars of my generation, where it not just the special effects, but like the storytelling, and it was telling a story that had never been told before, and it was done in a way that it hadn't been done before. So yeah, I felt like they really nailed like the tension of
exactly.
We got to destroy this ring. It's got to be
that's what I appreciated with the movies. Now I will say, to Red Crusader's point, at the end of Return of the King, yes, the hobbits and Gandalf, to a point, the hobbits wind up taking care of business in the Hobbiton by themselves. They've been groomed, as it were, for war now. They've grown up. They're not these carefree, happy-go-lucky, not working, entitled, sort of upper middle class, lower upper class families, hobbits. Now they're ready to defend and take care of their land, and they have to, because in the books, Saruman does not die. He says, all right, you fucked me over in my house. I'm going to go to your land and take over yours. So he takes over and becomes Lord of Hobbiton, as it were. So now Frodo sort of takes a back seat. He's tired of war. He's tired of fighting. And the ring has worn him down. So Sam, Merry, and Pippin pretty much take care of, his nickname was Sharky. Take care of Saruman, Sharky, and Grima Wormtongue. And Grima Wormtongue is shot down by hobbits, not men of Rohan or a Legolas. So,
yeah, and it shows how much the hobbits, especially Merry and Pippin, have grown and have changed, and how they weren't the same people.
Yeah,
which is,
and they were also physically taller because of the Ent draught.
Yeah, but it's like, in real life, men who join the military, and especially those that end up going off and fighting in combat, when they come home, they're not the same people they were.
Correct.
When they left home at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
And that was a complete,
drastically different.
Yeah, that was a complete contrivance on Tolkien's part, because World War I affected him so deeply. And everyone's like, oh, Frodo and Sam, the relationship, they can't be that close. They must be gay. Shut the fuck up. First of all, You don't
Which is mostly
understand.
girls saying that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
you don't,
women cannot.
and faggy mangina men that don't understand.
Yeah, but women
friendships.
cannot. Yeah, women just can't understand male friendships.
Well, no. What happened was
they can't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's not in their blood. So, officers in the war had an aide that was responsible for like a secretary, all kinds of shit, and making sure they were safe and taking care of the daily small daily tasks and accompanying them, being their companion. So that was he wanted to sort of, I guess, maybe even work through that somehow with the character of Sam and Frodo. Like Frodo was the lieutenant or the captain, and Sam was the aide. He was the helper.
Yeah, his Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, he probably also, I think Tolkien probably, I mean, we only know what we know, but they tell us. But like, my guess is Tolkien lost one of them. He lost a Batman. But like that kind of.
Well, he lost a lot of friends. He didn't lose his aide, but he lost a lot of friends.
Yeah, he lost at least 2 of his schoolmates.
Yeah, you have to watch the movie.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he lost.
And the guy that plays Tolkien, I forget his name, looks like you, TJ.
I know. I've been told.
Well, go watch the movie, you son of a bitch. You goddamn son of a bitch.
I'll watch it with my dog.
But I hate the fact that they took out the stuff with the Barrow Downs, which granted ties in with the Tom Bombadil. But that scene was important because those daggers that they got in the Barrows,
they're the only ones that could really harm the Nazgul.
Right, which is what, when Mary stabs him, and that's one of the points where, no man can harm me. Well,
that had to do with Mary,
not
a
man.
Yeah, it had to do with Mary.
Yeah, he's a hobbit. And he stabbed him with a blade that was specifically designed to fight those, the ring race, those 9 former lords of men.
Not really. Okay.
And so that was important, and his doing that is what allowed Eowyn to
follow
kill
through.
him. So I mean,
there was some teamwork there, but it was all Mary from the beginning.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that kind of stuff kind of gets glossed over for various reasons. But anyway, yeah,
I agree with Chris. Killer to the Captain Lucky Jack. That was another great movie.
Mm-hmm. God, I wish they'd have made sequels.
You like that burp there, Chad? I'll have to shoot out another one. This wine has really hit me today.
I love
what kind is it, Vince?
This is a local red from Valenzano called La Brusca. Okay. It's semi-sweet.
Do you ever get the bottle of the stuff that TJ was drinking, like soda pop?
Oh, Valens, Chemung Red. This is a variation of Chemung Red, actually.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Well, yeah, when we were at first in Gettysburg, when I first met you, when my buddy John was out in 2018, I had 2 bottles. You finished one by yourself, motherfucker. You were eating cheese balls like a son of a bitch and drinking the fucking entire bottle of wine.
I woke up at like 6 a.m. in the morning.
I don't care if you woke up or not. You drank all our fucking wine.
You guys have sweet wine. Anyways, I remember like, I was like going through this wine. I'm like, yeah, this is not very potent wine. You got to ramp.
Oh, it's fucking potent, but the sweetness of the berries overpowers it. Trust me, when I bring this stuff to the next Village by the Lake, which will be in September, you're going to be drinking this again. So don't even try it.
Yeah,
you dog napper.
Mine gets so excited that he comes running back when we're playing fetch. He will run and just jump up into my arms.
Let me get a screenshot.
So it's like
jump in the arms.
Of course, he's all of like 55 pounds minimum. So it's of solid muscle, running at full speed and then jumping into my arms.
Does he ever knock you over?
No. He knocks down pretty much everyone but me, but that's only because I'm 6'2" and right around 250 pounds. So
I've had a White Claw.
I do not drink White Claw.
I don't drink it. So
You don't have a claw, you don't drink White Claw.
here's
Didn't
the
all
deal.
you guys have one with when Jack was in town?
Yeah, so when Jack
Vince,
came
and
in
Rob
from the
and-
Netherlands and Rob came in from Salt Lake City, and we had the townhouse in Old City, Philadelphia, sort of, well, it's between Old City and South Philly, about a 4-block walk. We were walking around Old City proper, and there was this alley bar, outside bar, and they had White Claw. And Jack's like, oh, just as a joke, we have to try this. Like, all right, whatever. So he decided to get the blackberry flavor, and that was disgusting. So Rob and I didn't finish it because it was fucking gross, and Jack finished his and those two of ours. So Jack's the gay one.
The freaky deaky Dutch.
Well, and Rob
freaky
drinks
deaky
Bud
Dutch
Light,
bastard.
and even he thought White Claws were disgusting. So
Exactly.
there you go.
See,
that tells
exactly.
you how bad it has to be.
So I made a meme out of it. Yeah, we decided to do it as a meme, not as anything serious. I think they're gross. I don't drink that. I don't drink hard seltzer. I can make my own wine spritzer. Sometimes when I have one of my girls over, I'll take a little bit of wine and throw in some seltzer water or mineral water.
Mm-hmm.
And it's refreshing in the summertime with a little bit of ice. Sure. Oh, and a good time to meet a girl for a drink or a light dinner, at least in my area in South Philly. And TJ, you were there, the old bar in not South Philly, old City, is apparently a Tuesday. There's nobody there. I made 6:30 reservations for outdoor dining, drinks and such, and I parked right across the street, and there was fucking nobody there. It was fantastic. So, just guys, taking your girls out on dates and meeting for the first time, consider doing a Tuesday. It's sort of a nondescript day. It's not Monday. It's not Wednesday or stupid fucking hump day, whatever the fuck they call it. And it's not Thursday and Friday, which are sort of big bar nights.
Right.
Try Tuesdays. So. Tuesday's the way to go. That was a little Hispanic girl that I met yesterday. Yeah. 4'9", 4'10". Speaking of short Hispanic girls.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. It's open to interpretation. You make it mean whatever you want. Love is love and all that stuff.
I don't like Hispanic chicks.
Yeah, you do. Shut up. So basically, you decide to show up when we're ready to call it quits.
Well, in all fairness to my age and senility, I saw 9 o'clock and I didn't think about the time difference. So.
Yeah, you're retarded.
Yep.
What can I say? I will. I'm gonna have to give it to you. I have to chalk it up to your age, your agingness.
Well, there's a liquor also.
Oh, what are you drinking?
Tonight I'm drinking gin and tonics.
No, gin's good. Gin will fuck you up though. It's very subtle.
I know.
Yeah. Correct, Chris. I brought the Gimp. I decided to invite the Gimp on.
Anybody from the 80s who listened to metal in the 80s knows who that is.
I do, but I've forgotten.
Quiet Riot. It's from Quiet
you.
Riot.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Bro.
That's right.
Quiet right in your pants.
Anyway.
Anyways, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, that's good.
I'm good. I'm just not on time.
What else is new?
Do you have to make a run to pick up some Bartles and James wine coolers, or?
Well, he had to pick up gin and tonic and adult diapers.
There you go.
I live on Nicholas Standard Time, August Standard Time.
Yes, that's whatever he feels like is basically what that is.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree, but I'm running a show here, so I have to be on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, apologies for my for my lateness. I'll try to do better.
Shut up.
Of course, I can't hear gin and tonics without thinking of.
There
You muted him? Oh, okay.
Muted his dumbass.
There's a
No,
song called
gin and tonics are a great spring and summer drink.
there's a song called India, which was done, I think, in the late 70s by a group very similar to like Fireside Theater. But one of the lines in the song is, "You can drink your gin and tonics till it softens up your brain. I'll just sit in my veranda with my dynamite cocaine."
Nice.
But it's singing all the glories of British colonial India. So name drops the Kama Sutra and Bengal tigers and
tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night.
Yeah. So anyway. So any of you who might have listened to Dr. Demento growing up in like the 70s, you would have heard this song in probably the mid 80s. Mid 80s on Dr. Demento's show. He didn't play it very often, but I do have a copy of one of his shows on vinyl that it was played, and I think it's from 85. I'd have to pull it. I've also got a bunch of CDs of Dr. Demento shows.
Speaking of that, have you seen the new Weird Al Yankovic movie?
The kind of parody movie biography of his life thing?
Yeah.
No, I've not. I've seen clips of it. It looks pretty funny. Oh, that's nice. From the museum?
It was good.
That's from the Frank Rossetti Museum.
When is Frankie going to be gaming with us? Is he gonna play a one-off with us one evening live from the museum there?
I don't know. I do want to get him in on a painting gig before the gaming.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and
it'd be cool to have him like in a one-off if Jeffro was wanting something for us again.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If we have Jeffro on a game, I'll reach out to him and say, "Hey, there's maybe on a Saturday afternoon."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be fun
or something like that. But I do want to I do want to do a live broadcast from the museum with actually me being there. And perhaps TJ if he comes out and do a walk around the Frank Rossetti Museum with Frankie and talking and having the
yeah, that'd be cool.
Having someone else hold the webcam with the with the fucking laptop or maybe on a roller or some shit.
Maybe if his dad's willing, he'd be willing to hop on camera and tell us a story or something about his dad and relate.
I'm going to do what I can. Exactly. Yeah, I have ideas and things in the works. So that's going.
I don't doubt that for a moment.
Yeah. So, cheers.
My hope is you already have those ideas, and I'm just by echoing them to you. Okay, yeah, these are ideas.
You're reminding me to actually say them publicly, so otherwise I won't even mention it. It's like I have a tendency to not do that.
Yeah, I try to do what I can to.
I appreciate the marketing help. Yes,
doing what I can for the show.
Yep. But yeah, we have another Masculine Geek Village by the Sea scheduled for the fall, the late summer, early fall. And we'll be broadcasting out there, obviously.
That'll be cool.
That's a good one.
Although I still like the idea of us doing a weekend in Vegas sometime this year. We can pull the timing off.
It's possible. I mean, maybe in June, July, or August, I'd be up for that.
Yeah, because Cappy heads there for the winter, right?
So Aaron, I refuse to say the C word. Aaron is just the gayest thing. Aaron is, I think, back in South Dakota in the summer months. I think Vegas is too hot for him.
Yeah.
So I still have to fly out to hang out with TJ in his area. See what all the fuss is about in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. You're gonna have him take you to war-torn Portland or something like that?
I'm gonna have to wear my bulletproof vest.
Nope, we're not going to Portland.
No, we're gonna go hiking and shit.
Yeah.
We're
going to Leavenworth.
So are you even allowed to own firearms in Washington anymore, or what's the deal with that law?
I lost them all in a boating accident, so it doesn't matter.
Well, along with your crypto.
But the state can take your kids and cut off their genitalia and turn them into little boys into little girls and little girls into little boys without telling you, right? They can do that, but you can't own a gun. Isn't that the laws that they were just passing this last month?
Yeah, I report on it for my job, and I want to get the T-shirt that says George has a picture of
$20
George
is $20.
No, it has George Washington's face and says, "Me and my homies would be stacking bodies by now."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I want to get it, so that's kind of my mood. Like
Jefferson's tree needs watering. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
that literally needs to be a T-shirt. It's like, hey, the tree's
Oh, I
dry.
think it is, but I think if you wear it, you get put on an FBI watch list.
I'm already on.
We're already all on that. Just tell you right now.
Mm-hmm. Probably thanks to your cell phone. It's
yeah.
Actually, I tried an experiment where I talked about sake, Japanese sake.
Mm-hmm.
I never had an ad for sake on any kind of site, so I'm like, I'm kind of wondering. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm talking about something, and then on the radio, my old clock radio, they talk about it. I'm like, okay, some of it's got to be a coincidence. It's like it's not purposeful, because I literally one night spent like an entire minute saying Japanese sake. I want sake. I love sake.
Sake.
I've never had a single ad for Japanese sake. So I don't think it's a phone like speaking into it. Yeah.
I don't know. I get Japanese anime stuff in German and German history stuff in Japanese, in part because of the stuff I say on Twitter and some of my friends and people I've worked with in Europe. So I have no idea what the internet thinks I am or what, because it's kind of all over the map there. So Nick, how have you been doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. You still editing everybody's stories?
I am editing a well-known red pill authors or red pill personalities book right now.
Okay.
Tell Ryan you can shove off.
But not Ryan.
All right. Tell so-and-so they can shove off. I don't know.
When's your novel coming out there? Big
well, it's funny you should say that. As I sent you one of the next to final drafts of the book cover, as Adam has gotten a fire lit up his ass, so he's on a roll. Hopefully, and more than hopefully, it's going to happen this summer. Will be the second Tesla Malone book, Lightning's Call Book 2, and will also be the MG Pulp Anthology coming out this summer.
You know what you can get me for Christmas?
What?
You know what you can get me for Christmas?
Bachelor of Economics by.
I don't know. What can I get you for Christmas?
Clary? What?
I want a framed 11 by 17 print of your book cover.
I get you that. You want me to sign it, or it might be worth more if I don't sign it.
I want you to sign it. I want you to sign it, but I want you to sign my name.
What, dickhead?
Whatever you're calling me at the moment.
Redneck dickhead. Yeah, no, absolutely. I will. I do want to have some poster size.
When is the collected laser dicks coming out?
Well, that's coming out in the MG Pulp Anthology this summer.
Okay.
So that's pretty much done. I do want to.
So all the ones from Nick's
all the ones from Punch Riot will be in there, obviously, because they're all chapters, except for the 10th chapter, the final chapter, which is already well over 5,000 words. That was never produced in Punch Riot because someone decided to end Punch Riot at that moment, right before the denouement, as it were, of Laserdix. And for all you listening now and later, Laserdix is not some kind of futuristic pornography. Laserdix is a sort of a sci-fi, very loosely called sci-fi detective. And a detective, if you don't know, a detective in all the old 40s and 50s and 60s detective novels, the slang for a detective is dick. So laser dicks, laser detectives. you have to wait and see how that pans out and what that's about. But essentially, that's Rob Says, myself, and TJ as detectives, and we were on a case. So against the slopes. I'm not going to explain. I'll leave that to your imagination to wander. The slopes. It has to do with communism, as far as like who the enemy is. It's very. I don't belabor it. This is not a political story at all. It's just a fun detective adventure with a little bit of current events thrown in. So
And gay butt sex, from what I hear.
Nah, we left it out. Aaron had tried to sue for that. He wanted more of that in there because he is there's a reference to Aaron. It's funny. It's a bit of an inside joke because a lot of the Twitter followers, the Twitter people and acquaintances and friends that I've made, I've turned into characters in Laserdicks. So Red Crusader's in there. He turns out to be someone's son. You have to read it to find out. Nick is in there as Papa Nick. He's a sort of a voodoo kind of guy. So Nick is in there. Bullrush is in there. Bullrush is a bouncer guard for one of the Femme Fatale run nightclubs in Laserdicks. So that's good. So there's a lot of tits. There's a lot of fighting. There's action in every chapter. There's action. It's complete pulp. There's minimal exposition, minimal description, all dialogue and action. So it's got good reviews.
And your use of Manosphere, I think, is probably I still say is the best use of Manosphere.
Yes. The Manosphere is a gay nightclub, a gay nightclub run by that fruit Aaron Clary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say Clary, I just say Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're kind of discussing because the nightclub falls along the sewer line that they have to traverse. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away, but you're just going to read it. So it's fun.
Yeah, it is a good story.
Thank you. Not because you're in it. It probably takes away because you're in it, to be honest with you.
It's a good story in spite of my inclusion.
Exactly. And there's some crossover with Lightning's Call.
Mm.
With the Dennis Malone character. There's a very brief cameo by Dennis Malone coming out of Papa Nick's office. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Don't go there, you perverts.
He said my office, not Aaron's.
Exactly. Well, that's true. Yeah. So TJ Mictibus has a question for you.
I'm working on something, but it's been taking a while.
No, it happens when it happens.
I'm
settle down, Mictibus. Settle down.
I'm working on a novel right now. I think it's some of my best writing, but good Lord, it's taking forever. I'm like, I'll spend a week thinking about it, and then I write 800 words, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Right.
But it's better than when I was writing. Oh, I got to write 4,000 words a day, and like, oh, we're gonna edit out 90% of what I wrote.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen some. I've sent Vince some of my stuff.
Yeah.
For this novel, this is going to be the kick-ass novel of all kick-ass novels. He's seen some of that stuff. It's like it's going to be. Robert E. Howard would read this and be like, "Son, I'm your father."
It's very. TJ's done a very good job of finding his own voice. With giving from inspiration from Robert Howard.
Yeah.
I won't give too much away. In fact, I won't give anything away, but it's going to be good. I'm very proud of TJ, and I think it is some damn good writing.
Yeah. There's a passage where I'm like, this is the best shit I've ever written.
Shut up, Mictibus.
Shut up, Megs.
Shut the fuck up. But yeah. And Nick, I seem to recall, speaking of mocking people with books being late, I seem to recall you mentioning about 6 months ago that you were, in fact, it almost dovetails nicely with my own dilemma. Your book cover. So your book is done, but you're having problem with your book cover design. So you want to elaborate a little bit about how you're late with that too? What's going on? Tell us, Nick. Tell us.
No.
All right, fair enough. So
that wasn't 6 months. That was mid-January, and I had something come up, but
all right,
and it does involve the book cover. You're right.
Exactly. Well, you mentioned that's the only reason why I'm saying it, because I remember listening to you guys talking about it on Let It Burn.
Well, I changed it at the last minute, and then
there's Aaron Clary dick pics with like a stylized composition going.
Yeah, that was a clever joke. No, but seriously, I drove home right after that, and I passed this place in a little town I used to live in that used to be a little convenience store, and you could get gallons of draft beer.
I saw that. Yeah.
And so then I decided I maybe wanted to use that on the cover. And I've been in a state of inability to make a decision ever since.
I thought you were gonna say inebriation.
Well, I was that before, but
okay.
But it was like
before still.
Yeah,
and it's a dumb thing. It's a dumb thing to be undecided about. But I decided this may be if I die this year, this may be the only book I ever publish. So what do I want the cover to be? It's kind of dumb, but
it kind of is. Yeah, stop that.
Yeah. Well, I got married. I married little Spur girl. That's part of the problem because
okay. There you go.
Fucked up. That shows you how fucked up my thinking has been.
Who's your best man, Rob?
Whoa.
My best man was a monkey.
Well, that makes sense.
Well,
pretty much
okay, so it was Rob.
It basically Rob. Yeah, they're about the same height. Yes.
Rob, monkey, and both like to throw shit. So I mean, it's
Yep.
Seriously, I was going to ask you if you were back with little Spurg girl.
Little Spurg and I are still together. Yeah.
Okay.
You spit the dirty dick out of your mouth when you talk to us. Vern, I don't think I've ever seen you in our chat before. Welcome.
I think I know who Vern is.
I was just anyone with the name Vern has to be south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Vern is the modern day equivalent of Lon Chaney.
Oh, okay.
Person of 1,000. The person of 1,000 internet accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. You mean John Steele?
No.
Okay. I have ideas on who that is, but anyway.
I'm not sure Vern is a man.
Oh, okay.
But you never know.
Or a woman.
That's the internet after all.
Something in between, yeah, some kind of weird shit.
There's all kinds of weird shit out there.
There is.
And not just at TJ's house.
Everything's at TJ's house.
Dog now.
You right there, TJ?
He may need to take the dog out.
Or
get another drink.
No, just making sure the dog's all right.
Oh, okay. She all right?
Yeah, she's fine. She's just outside.
Gotcha.
I
Are
just
you going
gotta
to get her a little bed or something to go there in your office?
Well, I got to make sure if she's outside or she's in the house, I got to make sure she's not. It's like a kid.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Robert.
I have both. Dogs, kids, ex-wives. Yeah, I got all those things.
What's
Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. Holding the dog, and yeah.
So I was like,
that reference.
I'm just here to
that
tell everybody
reference-
what the references are.
That reference flies around a lot.
Yeah.
I have to watch that movie again just so I can reacquaint myself.
See, we never have dead air on Let 'Em Burn because anytime Rob gets a chance, he either, puts on the evil voice and says, would you fuck me? I would fuck me. And so we got to contend with that like 100 times.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not.
That or playing the
sophisticated.
Satan laugh. That's
I'm not.
he
as
likes doing
sophisticated as
that.
I don't give a shit about you people enough, so I don't fucking care about that shit. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ain't got no gas in it.
I ain't got no booze.
Get some taters.
Mm-hmm. Some folks call it the Kaiser blade. I call it the sling blade.
I think you got that backwards. I mean backwards.
I got it back. I got it backwards. See, something. I heard it said so. Not funny, haha. Funny queer. Fucking movie's great.
Ass backwards.
Ass backwards. I've got ass backwards.
Backwards.
That Doyle, he's in a bad way. I'm afraid he might hurt them.
Hurt the boy.
Hurt that boy. That boy lives inside of his own heart. That's an awful big place to live. The Bible says two men ought not to lay down together. If you're Aaron Clary, I guess it's okay.
As long as you get $20.
$20 is $20 is $20.
$20.
That's right. Jesus Christ.
You make fun of Aaron, but he's the only one out there trying to be everybody's daddy.
That's true.
I don't know. I've got at least 4 kids that I know about, so I mean, that's not like NBA basketball player levels, but I didn't. For a guy from the Midwest who's not famous, that's not too bad.
Tater tots are awesome. I prefer tater tits, but I'll take tater tots. Mm-hmm. French fried potatoes. It ain't got no gas in it. It's a great movie. It's going to be difficult to watch it because there is not one distribution company that has it. It's not on HBO. It's not on Amazon. It's not on Netflix. It's not on Hulu. You could probably maybe find it ripped out on YouTube. You're going to have to buy the DVD.
What is that fucking music?
What is it? What about it?
Better question. Why can I hear it?
Because I decided to play it. This is Get Your Own Fucking Show.
Jesus.
Yeah, it is Tube of Wonderful by Dave Pernier from
Tube of Wonderful? Is that what you call Aaron's dick?
Nah, I'm just letting you know that. Well, I have nothing to say to that because it's so funny.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny.
I'm surprised you're not playing dueling banjo in honor of me.
I have nothing to say to that. It's too funny. That is from Chasing Amy, a Kevin Smith movie.
Oh yeah. Speaking of movies, you posted something about The Razor's Edge last week or this week, and
Correct. I've posted that before, but yes.
It's interesting to watch that one and then also watch the Bill Murray version.
I know I like Tyrone Power plays what's his face, and I like both.
Yeah, I do too. It's one of the few movies that one of the few stories that was made 100 years 50 years apart or whatever, and I actually like them both. I think
it holds up. For all of you who are counting, it's very red pillish, if you will. It's definitely a man's movie.
Well, for that, I actually kind of like Tyrone Power's version a little bit better than Bill Murray's, because I still kind of felt like Murray was a little bit of a simp when it came to women in his version.
He was,
whereas,
that was a sign of the times.
Yeah,
but for 1946, Tyrone Power playing Larry, yeah. I would say read the book first. The movie follows very closely. There's some things left out. Not going to give anything away, but go watch the movie but read the book first by W. Somerset Maugham.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Bill Murray version. The Bill Murray version did a much better job of just getting across the general seediness and the, kind of the humanity and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the Tyrone Power version was
a little more existential.
Yeah, and it was, it was good that way though. It was like you don't, you think that those old movies they tend to be, you think they tend to be just kind of boring and shitty, but really they did such a better job of living out the story itself back then, I think, because they just had less, they just had less production value to rely on or to worry about, so they had to focus on mannerisms and blocking and all that kind of shit, which
correct.
I think they do much better back then in general, and I think that's one way that the older version is kind of like the better version in some ways.
All right, Governor, how are you? So everyone's homework is this weekend. You have homework, you assholes. If you're here, you have homework. You are going to pay $4 to YouTube. I know it hurts, but you can afford it. You're not poor. You're going to watch Sling Blade, and one of our next Fireside chats will discuss it for a little bit, very briefly. Not TJ brief, but we'll discuss it briefly. That means you, TJ, you have to watch it as well. You're going to like it. It's good. It's one of Billy Bob Thornton's first ever appearances on film. It was done in 1997.
I ain't watching Sling Blade. I lived it. I'm watching the Blues Brothers.
You are Sling Blade, yeah.
Tombstone. That was 1993.
I don't give a shit.
That was his.
I understand what you're saying, but one of his main roles in film was Sling Blade.
Something on your mind?
Something on your mind? Oh, Johnny, I forgot you were there.
Yeah,
You better go now. Awesome.
The shotgun.
Bull Rush is free? That's pretty disgusting.
So not even $20 then. So
no, you don't have to pay anything apparently, as long as you can get yourself out to bumfuck Alabama, where the fuck he lives.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that Nick lives in the Panhandle or some shit?
What?
I don't know. You're like near Florida.
I am near Florida.
Yeah.
I live in an old airplane fuselage on the edge of Indian land.
You should.
That's right. Got a casino one way and the beach the other.
All right. How the adult
swamp
diapers
out
doing?
In the backyard?
Say what?
How the swamp out in the backyard?
Oh, swamp is the front yard.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Gotcha. And you've got the rock pile, the quarry out back.
Exactly. The backyard is the quarry, and it's actually they call it the quarry. It's actually an old Indian graveyard.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Years ago, this was poltergeist area here.
No wonder you have like salamanders and owls like besetting you.
Well, exactly right.
That's fucking Jesus Christ. You're like,
if you look at an Alabama map, you can see that this whole part of the state was was all Upper Creek Indian land until like mid 19th century, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's when we moved them out. Finally got them out, and now they're on 100 acres down in South Alabama. That's about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there lately? Good?
Here it's perfect right now. We get about 3 weeks of perfect weather in between March and June. And then at some point in that 2-month period, we get like cool mornings and warm afternoons and very little rain. And then, because up until that, it just rains all the time. And then by the time June gets here, it's hot as fuck.
Do you get that weird Florida, like thunderstorms every 10 minutes?
We sort of do. Yeah. It's like we go through this phase where there's a lot more moisture coming up from the Gulf, and I'm far enough south. I'm far enough south that we'll just get random afternoon thunderstorms that nobody predicted or forecasted or anything like that.
Gotcha. Fantastic.
It's life in paradise. Price you pay.
That's what they tell me. This wine really is making me burp. Fantastic. All right, it's an hour and 32 minutes, 33 seconds and counting. I think we're going to call it. I like to keep these short. Does anyone else have anything to say, or does anyone in the chat have anything reasonably intelligent to ask? I know I'm asking a lot by asking that.
Considering what some of the guys have been talking about on Twitter this week, it's been weirder than usual.
Oh, that's true. I have a tendency to block certain words, so some things I don't get.
Yeah.
I don't engage in 13th grade bullshit. And I definitely don't argue with women, whether it's online or offline.
Yeah.
Well, Vern Wilder is asking about my avatar, and if she had been here earlier, she would have gotten the answer.
Yeah.
So you faithless people that don't stay for entire
You're
lives.
Shit out of luck.
Mm-hmm.
We don't back up. Unlike Eric.
I know, Governor. I don't know how. Well, you could probably give a semi-intelligent question. It might be a good idea on one of our fireside chats to do a general Q&A from the chat. It might be fun.
Yeah.
Because I look at it this way: I don't have to come up with the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Robert doesn't have to come up with a topic, and TJ definitely doesn't have to come up with a topic. We can make you do all the work.
Yeah.
And just ask questions. I kind of like that idea.
and I've been on Governor and Red Hawk and Jack's show a couple times, so Governor's fun to talk to. So more than happy to take questions from him.
Yeah, Governor's reasonably intelligent. So, all right, Chris, what is the schedule for the next few weeks? So, games mainly. So let's see. Let me bring up my calendar. So the 17th will be Drew's game.
Viking Madness.
In Yorvik, yes. And then the 24th, we're back with the slave module series A1 through A4 AD&D with Rollo, and Ryan Stone is joining us as a player, as a consistent player. I know, right? You're gonna enjoy. I know, I'm laughing too. He expressed an interest. I'm like, all right, he might be kind of cool. He's played fifth before. I asked him. So, and I sent him a link to buy the AD&D Player's Handbook. So hopefully he reads that, unlike TJ. And then, so he'll
got a free copy and didn't read it.
That's I know, right? What the fuck?
He was gifted it.
He was gifted it. Ryan's already read it and created his character already. I'm not telling you what it is. It's going to be a surprise. You're going to like it.
Yeah, you'll have to wait. Watch the show.
We all know what it is. So, like I said, the 17th is Drew's game. The 24th will be Rollo's, and that will be including the adventures of all the adventures, including the new player Ryan. So, let's see what else.
Yeah, which is like this series of modules.
Yep.
Which I haven't been able to look at since we've been playing it.
There's some truth to that, Bull Rush.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't spend money, you don't value it.
I did read it. I'm like, yeah. And?
James, we're wrapping up, so I'm not bringing you on. If you meant to say link rather than lick brother, we're not licking you. Sorry.
See, you keep denying all this gay shit, and every time anybody speaks, it's always
fucking gay. James is something gay in this fucking chat. Bull Rush was something gay in the chat. Governors probably say something gay.
You should fire him. I want to get out and let him burn. I'll come over to Masculine Geek and I'll shit on and let him burn for you. I'll shit on Rob and Boris every week for you.
There you go.
We're trading James for Nick. Is that
right.
what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
James is going to be on Let It Burn from now on, and Nick's going to be here with us.
Right.
There you go.
Sorry, James. Next time we do a fireside chat, I'll send you the link. The trip to New Jersey and Mulch. I told you not to tell anybody. Shh. Jesus Christ. Well, James will be back out here in New Jersey for the Village by the Sea. Like I said, that's in the works. No, you're not invited. No, we're not doing a meetup. No, we're not telling you when it is. You'll find out when we actually do a broadcast live from the location.
There you go.
Exactly. So, all right. Ryan's character will be packing 2 weeks of Madeline's for Ryan. Hey, it's iron rations with a modern twist to it. Exactly.
And he'll be eating French fries with cheese curds and gravy on it.
His character is going to be some sort of Gordon Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay pirate hunter, that kind of shit.
Some kind of weird bullshit. Yeah. Oh fuck!
It'll be the sailor from the Village People.
There you go.
He'll be prancing around singing "In the Navy."
In the Navy, you can take it in the ass. In the Navy, as they say in the Navy, there is no wrong hole. All right. So on that note, if there's no more questions in the chat, we're going to call it an evening because we have shit to do and I need to go to bed. So, Robert, where can everyone find you?
Robert Kuzlin on Twitter, Instagram, and with the Masculine Geek here on YouTube.
Fantastic. Weird, scary mask guy. Where can everyone find you? Nick, PG, Nick.
With little children.
I'm a bot. I can't and won't be found.
You're a bot, all right. The mind of a bot.
Head south till you reach the hard yeet and then turn left at the twang.
Hard yeet twangs.
A Mandelbrot.
Something. And last but not least, TJ, where can everyone find you?
TJMartinell.com.
There you go. All right. Until next time, TJ, take us out.
All right, guys, you know the drill. Keep the fires burning. Keep the lead shooting down range. Keep the wine flowing. Don't take any wooden nickels. Don't drink all the rum. Aaron, you bastard.
Fucking dickhead.
And tune in to next week's episode. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time, the right time. Eastern time can go screw itself.
No. 9 p.m. Eastern time is best time. You can't complain about the Pacific Northwest and love their time zone. So
I would say don't drink all the Shimong Red, but
don't. Yeah, exactly. Well, TJ will be drinking the Shimong Red next time.
Yeah. Don't eat all the Cheetos. Where are the
Cheetos? The Mountain Dew. If there's any girls there, I want to do them.
I want to play Magic Missile.
I want to fire. I want to cast magic. I attack the darkness. Fucking hysterical. All right, dickheads. Until next time. Yeah. Dirty whores.